Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome. Thank you for taking an hour of your day to be here. My name is Bhavna. I do product marketing for Kane CLI at TestMe AI, and I spend most of my time talking to QA engineers and developers and how testing is changing in this AI world. Joining me today is Harish Rajoda, senior software engineer at TestMe AI. He has spent years of building large scale products and CI/CD pipelines, and he will be bringing the engineering angle and a live demo later in this session. So, this session is being recorded, which will later be uploaded to the YouTube channel. If you want to excel, we'll share the link with you. If you have any question at any point, drop them into the Q&A panel. We have kept the last few minutes just for that. So, yeah, let's begin. So the title of this session is a bit of mouthful, I know, the quality gap AI agents leave in your terminal. By the end of this hour, I want that phrase to feel obvious to you. So obvious that you will wonder how we all will be shipping our AI build code, AI builds without talking about it. So let me go. The art looks like this. So we will be talking about the problem and the product later, and you will see a few demos, and in the last we'll do the Q&A session with you. So let us start with the honest question: why are we all here? And the answer actually is here only. Your AI agent says pass and nobody opened a browser. So basically today we are building with plenty of AIs. There is Claude Code, there is anti-gravity, and I would say there's easily 20 plus AI that builds code today. But nobody is actually verifying that built it code in the final rendered UI. So we need to close that verification gap here. This gap did not appear overnight. Three, fo- uh, three forces collided to create it. So, force one, code got fast. Claude Code, Cursor, Codex. These tools moved way past autocomplete. They ship entire feature from a single prompt. What took a sprint now takes an afternoon. Code creation accelerated by orders of magnitude. That part of the story that we all face and everyone knows. Um, nobody talks about it. Verification is still stayed slow. If you are making a login page, a checkout journey, a simple dashboard, none of that can be confirmed without a real browser actually running it, observing it, and reporting back to you. So here the browser automation part becomes very important, where you can see the final rendered UI, and you can the Kane CLI we click through it and report you back if the final render UI is actually working for you or not. The force 3 here is basically means that the test framework we would normally reach for did not get easier. Selenium is still Selenium, Playwright is still Playwright. You need to write long test scripts of code, and there are so many selectors to maintain with the traditional ways. The maintenance text that never went away. So code velocity outpaced verification velocity by an order of a magnitude. The tools that write software sprinted ahead. The tools that prove software works stayed where they are. So this is the gap that we are here to solve. Kane CLI is built just to close that gap here. Simply AI. So, if I put into more simple words, whatever you are building through AI these days, that needs to be verified in the final rendered UI. So now let me show you exactly where the blind spot sits. Look at this mock terminal right here. This is every coding AI agent today. You ask it to add checkout, it generates the code, unit test pass, types are clean, and it says done. But it never opened the real browser, click through it, and see the final rendered UI. And every single check the agent can read. source code. It's all about a source code. All the agents right now are doing just reading the code and telling you whether it works or not. Unit tests reads the code, type checkers read the code, linters read the code. They all operate on the same closed surface, which is just simple text. None of them ever enter the app in the real browser. None of them click a button and confirm the page actually loads and see and confirm that the final user can actually use it or not. None of them catch the rendered, the redirect that 404s, or form that never validates, or model that refuses to close. So you get this special category of failure. The code is technically correct, but the feature is broken for the user. The button wired to the wrong API, everything compiles, everything passes, but the final user still cannot check out. And this is not hypothetical for me. A few weeks ago, if I tell you my example, I was building an Amazon clone with anti-gravity. It wrote the whole thing, product pages, cart, and it was working. And when it finished, you know what it did? It handed me the local URL and said, here it is, and open this and test this. That is the state of the art. The agent builds everything and then politely returns verification to me. I became the test suite. So the arithmetic here is actually very brutal. Um, um, it doesn't just hurt commercially; it hurts technically as well. The the agent ships a feature in 4 minutes, and a human verifies in 30 minutes. Think about what that means at scale. Your agent can generate 10 feature in the time it takes you to manually verify one. The bottleneck in software delivery has moved. It is no longer creation, it is verification. And almost nothing in our tool stack that we have currently with us was built to inverse that. Um, Now I will ask you this question. You can obviously tell me in chat or a quick thumbs up in the chat. How many of you have manually clicked through a page or through a flow that you have built with AI and to verify by your own to that it's actually work or not? So let me know. So before I show you our answer, let me read out four situations and tell me if any of these sound familiar. So half of your suit asserts nothing. There are steps in your test that scroll a page and quietly count as a check. There are empty greens, earned green look identical on a dashboard. So a fully passing suit can be hiding huge blind spots and nobody knows it. A rename costs a sprint. One CSS class change and the label gets reworded. And the 40 specs all go red at once. The team spends weeks repairing those selectors instead of adding coverage. If you have lived this, you know it is the single biggest text in browser testing today. Flaky, and nobody knows why. A test fails once, passes on retry, and everyone moves on. Except sometimes that flake was real race condition and it just shipped without a record what happened at the moment, or failure, or the triage guesswork that we do currently. And debugging is an archaeology. My If I'm working with traditional frameworks, my own folders are just a graveyard of specs and different kind of files, and files with the manually transmitted evidence of what happened in the test. It has become Debugging has become an archaeology, a stack trace in one tool, a video in another, screenshot in third, all of that expires in a week. You dig through system just to reconstruct what happened in that test. The common thread across all these four lines is that a check mark is just a simple claim. It's not a proof. If your AI agent saying that you have built this works, you are good to go, and you can merge the PR. But you can't trust that AI coding agent because it is not made specifically for the testing. It is made to build that code, but the verification, it's still a huge question, and it still has to be stronger and agentic, the way your AI coding is also agentic. So this is the gap Kane CLI has been built. If your AI coding has become 100 times stronger, your verification should also be agentic and should match the velocity of your AI building coding agents. So where Kane CLI lives. So now before I introduce the product, let me tell you about the moment this whole gap stopped being a slide for me, became something an agent said to my face. I was building a Salesforce clone with Fable, and we all know when Fable came, people started building lovable clones. People started building replicate clones, and we all were seeing those tweets on Twitter that how Fable has changed the velocity of building the different kind of apps and web apps. And so I ran a little experiment myself as well. I tried to make a Salesforce clone. I deliberately restricted it to using Kane CLI. I wanted to see what it would do on its own. And the agent came back to me and told me, in its own words, Claude Code told me, I cannot see the rendered UI. I can only see the static code. The AI builder, the AI coding agent told me itself that I cannot see the final UI, only you can go through it and click it. I can only see the static code and see if that static code is fine. I will tell you it's fine. And then it went ahead and verified everything from static code alone. Every check it ran, every check it ran, it passed, it reported me and came from a reading text. Think about that. The agent know its own buildings, its old blind spot. It will even admit if you push. It just has no way to close it by itself. That is the gap confirmed by the agent living inside it. So let us talk about what fills it. KNCLI, the verification layer your agent is missing, living in the same terminal your agent already works in. So let me. So what is KNCLI basically? Kane CLI is what we call an agentic quality verifier, and I want to be precise about what that means exactly. It does not just run test; it proves software works by driving a real Chrome browser and returning evidence back to Vertex. Three things that makes it different, and they are on here. So plain English. You will describe your objective in just simple words. This is my web page. Or this is my localhost URL. Go through this localhost URL and click through the buttons and let me know if all the button works. That's it. You are giving Kane CLI your objective in just natural language. You describe the outcome, you describe the intent, you want that thing to work, and you don't have to maintain any selectors, any framework, or any XPath things. The agent figures out the path itself. So second thing, it opens a real Chrome browser for you, not a synthetic DOM, not a mock. Verification anchors to what user actually sees on screen, not what the source code declares. That closes the exact blind spot we just spent 15 minutes on. So uh, it also, in the end, it will come with pass or fail with a proof. Every run seals an evidence pack, screenshots of every step, the network log, console output, a verdict you can hand to anyone in the team and they can see exactly what happened. So later in this session, you'll see how that evidence part actually looks. Everything is curated in just one single link for you, which can be shared or put in any GR ticket if you want. So one sentence of intent, a one binary verdict, and shareable proof behind it that makes Kane CLI browser automation a testing tool, um, a gap that close a tool that closes the gap of what your AI is building and to verify it if it actually works. So now I'm going to show you a video. So it's a visual representation of video what Kane CLI actually works. Let me just switch my screen. So here's the video. This is just a visual representation of Kane CLI. This is not how it exactly looks. So what is happening here? You can see that your AI agent, you gave it a prompt that build this, and it started. If you have ever used Claude Code, it started going into a plan mode, and it list the task that it's going to do, and the last task any AI agent have is verify it end to end. So this is exactly where Kane CLI lies. So you can see everything is ready according for in like for from AI. They are building pages, delegating features, everything is done, but the verification part that still needs to be strong enough to actually prove that whatever that AI has built is actually working or not. So this is where Kane CLI lies basically. Now you can see here, what you can do with Kane CLI in your terminal only. You can upload your file, be it be PDF, MD, or Jira ticket. You can upload it in your terminal, giving it the file path, and it will start creating use cases, acceptance criteria, business use case test scenarios for you. After this, it will start designing it so that whatever you have built is verified end to end with the source that you have uploaded, in which you have written how the app should work, or how it should look, or what should work and what should not. So it's uploading all the files that you have. With the command will be Kane CLI context ingest. So ingest is just basically you uploading your source file, any source file, to tell it what it should do actually in the end. And after you are done uploading your sources, it will start creating the ACs, the test scenario, business use cases for you. And it's for an initial time it will be a long process, obviously, because setting it up for the first time will take your 20 minutes maybe. And if it has any questions, or um, any confusion like how this test scenario should look like, it will also ask you a question in between in terminal only. So it's a very small chat interface that we have created. So if the Kane CLI have any confusion, it will ask you as an ask user agent. And it will also create these test MD files you can see here. So test MD is a feature in Kane CLI. It's just like a test file where you have described that go to this, run this, um, and confirm this if this works or not. So test MD files are just basically natural language test files which you can create by yourself as well, and Kane CLI will also create it for you once you upload your sources. Now, let's say that while running those test MD file, now we have come to the execution part here. So if when that test MD file or that test is running and it finds some kind of error, is be it be API error or anything, it will take screenshot of it, take analyze everything where it failed actually, and it will curate and end up that information in the evidence file that you will be getting in the end. So it's just basically collecting all the errors for you. And this is how the evidence viewer will look in the end. You can see that why it failed, and the Jira ticket that are referred to it, and the ACs that where this is coming from. So these are the test instances that you can see in your evidence file, which will be handed over to you in the end. So whatever acceptance criteria you have, it will be scored in a lenient or strict based manner. If it's like if it's meet the acceptance criteria, or how much it meets the business use cases that it has built for you. So you will get end to end full proof, and where you can easily think of the verdict that if this AI build should be merged in the end or not. Now whatever verdict it have, it will pass it on to you. Now the decision is on you that if it should go further or not. So Kane CLI, this is the whole loop of Kane CLI where it's verifying this end to end. Now let me go back to the slide again. Sorry, I got muted. So this new, the video you just saw, this is a very new workflow that we have introduced, very recent actually. First we were just the browser automation tool that we click through uh, the build that you have made, but now we have introduced this whole context ingest and completing the whole loop, where you can actually be sure and be confident about your build that it is ready to power the PR. So now the thing is, in version 0.6 that we have shipped very recently is is this assurance workflow. Um, it starts at the source, your PRD, JTicket, and Figma here. From the source, the AI extracts the business use cases of what must the product do. Each use case breaks into scenarios, heavy path, expired card, empty results, and all that you saw in that video. The whole design phase is AI driven and human supervised. So human in the loop thing is also there. Uh, you set the goal, the AI does the test engineering, the test authoring, and if two sources disagree, it stops and asks a human instead of guessing it. Then um, execution drives the real browser, and every real sees an evidence pack. Coverage is read of that evidence per acceptance criteria, not typed it into a spreadsheet or any kind of read of proof, and it rolls up into a real verdict. So you can be confident enough to take that AI build further. So when does that loop actually buy you day by day? Green, you can defend a pass only exists when evidence covers the acceptance criteria. The empty green problems from earlier, where a step runs but it proves nothing, it shows up a uncovered, not a past thing. When someone asks which test proves the auth requirement, the answer comes from the artifacts themselves, not from a spreadsheet that someone has made. So stale green gets demoted and spec change and a test gets passed. The dashboard says covered and run cover with strict mode, and the green gets flagged. A coverage number that is allowed to go down in is a number you can finally trust when it goes up. So a triage becomes a fact when a run fails. Bug detection investigates whether it is a product bug or a test issue and records that verdict in the evidence pack. The evidence pack here is actually the most important thing, which will give you all the artifacts, all the test artifacts, the strongest part of the test suite, where you can actually rely on and and stop the debate of being what should be um merged or not. Now, I'm giving the stage to Harish. He will be showing a demo, a recorded demo, or and a live demo to you to explain it more further. The stage will go.
Yeah, thanks, Bhavna. So I'll share my screen to show you the demo for Kane CLI. Uh, Bhavna, can you stop your screen? Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so Kane CLI is actually a NPM package under the hood. So it's not a like separate executable. So you need to install it similar to any other NPM package. So I have already installed it using npm install globally, and this is the package name for Kane CLI that you have to write to install Kane CLI. Once you have done it, you need to log into Kane CLI so that all your tests and evidence and test managements are available on your dashboard. So to get this login, you need to sign up on TestMeI website. So I already have an account, so it is free to create an account. So you just create a login, and then it gives you two options to either go through username and password directly, or use OAuth. So you can use the username and password that you get from the dashboard or from your account. Or like me, I am using OAuth here. So it will take you to the browser and it will ask for a token so that you get logged in with your account. So you'll get this screen. This is a callback screen. Once you authorize, that KNCLI will be able to log in. Yeah, so as you see, I'm already logged in here. So once you have logged in, so these are the projects that I have been working on. So it is listing it, but you don't need, like, if you are using it as a fresh software, you don't have to have it. Then, like, I'll show you. So Kane CLI actually works in two methods. One is interactive and one is non-interactive. So I'll first show you interactive way. So Kane CLI, you need to run every Kane CLI command using this Kane CLI so that it knows where to run. Then just press run, and then just you have to write whatever natural language, whatever test you want to run or a scenario you want to run in the natural language. So for example, I'll write simply like go to w3schools.com and click on Python. So this is a simple navigation command and a click command. So I have combined it using natural. So as you see, it has opened a browser. So like Bhavna was telling you, so whatever is happening with Kane CLI, you will be able to watch it live when the tests are executed. So once this browser runs, you'll see that Kane CLI is running, and on the backend, you'll see that it is converting those commands into the command that it understands. So as you see, it has opened w3schools.com, and it will search for this word Python that I wanted to click. So whatever this agent is thinking about, it will try to show you so that you know that agent is not hallucinating or has misunderstood understood your test scenario. So what is, since it is, so as you can see, it is saying W3 School Python page is open with a Python tutorial heading in left sidebar and everything. So here it has done 3 steps. So one is navigating to this website that I wanted, clicking on the Python link from top navigation menu, and so it has closed the browser, and then waiting briefly for Python page. So this one it did automatically to know like if that page actually exists or not, or it will open correctly or not. So it is showing that all the 3 test case passed, and then you will be able to uh, get a summary of it, and then you can name this session so that you are able to recall this session on your dashboard. So it gives you a default name based on the timestamp that I have selected here. Once everything is done, it will create those artifacts and evidence so that you can view them later whenever you want, like later in your. So like this is the test it has created. So we can just view this test we want. So this is the natural language test that it has created. Then there is an output file which is created in this test folder. You can go to this test folder. You will get all the files here. Like these are the 2 files that it created. One is the test file and one is the output file. You will get them in the test folder here. And then these are the shareable links that you can share with other people or get a live summary like what happened during it. So for example, I'll go to this test case page, and on my browser, I'll go and paste that page. So it will show me like what steps it ran and what were the natural language test cases that it converted to, so that I can recall back. So as you see, like it has 2 steps here, navigating to this website and then clicking on this link. So if I click here, it will show me that this was the link that is created. And then this is a simple navigation, so it won't show anything. But here you can see that you are getting an explicit view of this link where it, because Python is in this sidebar also in many places. So you will be able to understand like actually which element it got selected, whether it was on the top navigation bar, on the sidebar, or whether it was this title or not. So these are the things that you get after your tests are closed. So this is actually a non-interactive way that the problem with non actually not a problem, like it in non-interactive you just have to run a single command here and you cannot chat along with it. So to like continue your session and keep asking the scenario, creating test cases, you can enter the interactive terminal by using the TUI flag. Once you do that, it will open up the Kane CLI interactive terminal. So this is kind of like a interactive mode where you interact with the agent and you keep writing scenarios, and it will keep checking, running those scenarios and telling you the output and whether those test case passed or not and these things. Then you can, based on the output, you can continue writing new scenarios or you can like exit with it. So for example, I'll start with go to w3schools.com. So this is the one objective that I want. So it has opened up Chrome again, browser where I can see that it will open the w3schools.com. And here it will tell me like what it is thinking about and analyzing the objective. So converting this to what command it has to be converted behind the scene and how to run it. So as you see, it is converted to navigation command. So here it has opened w3schools.com. Then this test case has passed. So I was able to successfully open w3schools.com. So now I can continue with this. I can say click on Python on the navigation bar. So this will continue as a next step uh, from my this session. So in the same browser session, it will continue search for that Python in top navigation bar, and then it will click once it has analyzed this objective. So yeah, it converted it to a scenario which is clicking. It has to click an element. So here it will search for that Python, and as you see, it searched for Python here. I can also use, so these were like click, and these are actions like you go somewhere, you click, or you do something. So in test, while writing test, you will also come across assertions and verifications. So in which you confirm like something exists on the page or not. So like these two were action commands. We can also use continue in this page now. So I can say like uh, check for assert, or like in test cases we normally use assert. So we can use assert that the title contains the word Python or not. So I'm trying to check like this page title, which is Python tutorial, whether it contains the word Python or not. So it will again analyze this objective, and then it will convert it into an action or a test scenario, and then we'll check whether this title will have Python or not. So this is not an action. It is on the same page. So nothing will happen on this page. So it will just analyze that page and tell me whether it is correct or not. And it will also show me like whether test cases are passing here or not, or like what status code I'm getting and how many credits I'm using from my account. So these credit also you can measure through the credit flag. I'll show you in a minute. So like here for the title, it has extracted the current page title, and then it checked. So it has passed, as you can see here, like it passed, and because this was Python tutorial and it contained the word Python. So now you can get a summary of it. If you type a summary, you get all the complete flow of what I did. So in a like interactive way, in where it shows like what scenarios I ran and what actions and what assertions I did. So these were the three flows as a summary, and what passed, how many credits it took. So you can get a credit summary of your account using here. So apart from run, I would like to show you like another flags also. Like if you go to Kane CLI support docs, we have you can note this link. These are support docs to use Kane CLI. So you will have these many commands to run. So I just ran the run command in non-interactive. So these are for non-interactive, or for interactive, some of them will not work. So like summary I ran right now. Run was run previously, and then you can exit, clear, or you can, if you want to log in, log out, and log in using different account, then you can log out here, log in again, and then change config. Like you can set the window size of the browser that is opening, whether you want to open or not, and these kind of things. So these were the test cases or test scenarios that we can run. You can also generate a complete test flow by using the generate command. So what generate command does is that it will you can just ask for one flow and in one line, and then it will analyze that flow, and it will create every scenario that will be required to achieve that flow, and all the test cases that will satisfy those scenarios. So for example, I can use I can check like I can tell it a flow where I want to see how the checkout of my website works when some user checks out for a product like a book. If someone is checking out a book and wants to buy a book and wants to check out through add to cart and everything, so how that flow will work. So here I don't have to write all the scenarios and all the test cases. It will do it yourself. So for example, I can write a scenario, the checkout flow for buying a book on Amazon.in. So this is a small scenario I gave it. So it will analyze like how this flow can be broken down into smaller actions and smaller assertions. And then it can continue creating test scenario from this. So so as you see, like it has created successful book purchase using a saved address and payment method case. And then, so you see TS1 and NF01 here. So NF is non-functional test cases, which are for the non-functional requirement. For example, here it is checking load time and responsiveness, which are non-functional. And TS1 you will get for test scenarios, which are for functional. So the difference is that functional test cases you will be able to save in your uh, like I am running on my local computer, so you can save it in my local system, but non-functional you won't be able to save. So that's why it give it a flag here. So it has as you see, it has created two new scenarios, to checkout flow. One is to book purchase using saved address and where some user has a address saved and payment method saved. And then another is to check the load and this response item, which is non-functional. So I can just use a save command and it will save my test here. Or I can use a run command. And then give the test path file once I saved it, and then it will run those test scenarios and create it into actions automatically. So these are the things that I think these are the things that Kane CLI can do and all we had to cover here. So also like this generate you can use using non-interactive mode also. So it will be using generate command, and then you can type a flow here, like check out Amazon.in or the buy book flow and everything. So it will work without this also. And you can also use a headless flag. So there's a headless flag also in which this browser will not open, and then you will be able to directly the runs will come here. These executions run and test summaries and test cases, these things will come and how many credits, but a browser will not open up. So that we have created for agents, because agents generally use browsers, but they don't like open browser and they work behind the scene like in a headless mode. So if you have an agent, you can work with headless mode using headless flag. So it become like headless KCLI. So another thing is like this is the one where everything is manually done. You can also use Kane CLI using us as a skill in your agent that you use or, already. Like for example, if you are using Claude Code, Codex, or Gemini to create test cases and test scenarios, then you can execute those scenarios or even write those scenarios, create the flow using Kane CLI once you install the skill using install skill command. So once you run this command, it will install skills on your system. Then, for example, in my system, I have Claude Code. So I'll open Claude, and then the same thing I can do here. That so here I have provided like to check whether it is using whether schools.com contains the word school. So it will use the Kane CLI skill to it will load the Kane CLI skill, and then it will be able to like run the same thing that we ran here. But this time, actually, when skill is used, the headless mode is activated automatically. So here we will be like in this doc, you will be able to get those flags where we are using agents. So in those, a headless mode will be automatically used, and you'll be able to see that the results only. So once this is done, so like Bhavna told you about the new feature that we are bringing to create the complete flow. So we have a small video for it. So the PID file she was talking about is you enter this, give this KCLI PID file using context and just command. So this is the bank loan app PID command. So PID will contain all the product descriptions in a PDF IMD file. So you can just pass it directly using KCLI context ingest command and then extract that file. So it will read those commands and analyze the file and then create all the things that you require to like from source from the PRD file to the execution, everything will be taken care by KCLI. So here, as you see, it has proposed 4 use cases. So these use cases are dependent on that PRD file. So once those use cases are created, it will design tests based on those use cases. All the tests will be like designed by itself by understanding the PRD, the use cases and the scenarios that will satisfy all the complete flow. So once it is done, like it will also run like as you see here, it is using the run command. it has created a test.md file where all the tests are saved, and then it will use the run command to run those tests and check whether it is working or not. So this I already showed you, like this will open a browser and it will check for all those. And this is the same terminal output that we just saw. So like it is running all the tests and all the scenarios that it created and checking whether that works or not. And then finally it has created all the output and test command here below. And then this is the same test manager that we just told you. So it is checking the coverage also, like how much coverage was there when with these scenarios that it created, user scenarios. So this one will take, like loop will take care of from source PRD to coverage to test scenarios to test cases to like everything from execution to browser, uh, to saving those videos, saving test files, saving the session of a browser that you can view later also. So all these things will be taken care by Kane CLI loop. So like, and you can you get this file, markdown file, and you can save it in your local system also, or you can save it on Kane CLI dashboard also if you have got one. Yeah, so that was all for from my side for demo. So Bhavna will continue.
Yes, thank you, Harish, for such quick demo here. That was very thorough and very easy to understand. Let me share my screen again. So, lastly, we are going to see some features of Kane CLI, what we have. These are not all the features, but mainly these are the capabilities of Kane CLI. So when you write test objectives in plain English, you don't need any selectors, XPath, like you can see. You describe what you want, and Kane CLI handles the technical details for you. We also have Kane CLI generate command, where you can automatically generate the test cases, like you just saw Harish showed how to generate. We also have DevTool assertions with in Kane CLI, so you can perform comprehensive checks on DOM elements, network requests, console output. You can just tell it in natural language that check console errors in this local URL, and it will do it for you. There is auto heal and smart waiting as well. If UI drifts and tests still pass, the tool uses the scoring to wait intelligently for elements and automatically adjust to the minor UI changes. Uh, Flows can also be parameterized. If you have any credentials or any variables, uh, you can manage it easily, just by just making a variable JSON file. Um, it also have ask tools. So if you have a build where you need OTP or captchas, it will pause and in the middle of the text execution and ask for your OTP and captcha inputs. So human in the loop is here. um, you can also save your browser sessions once and use them across multiple test runs without relogging it each time. And like you saw, Harish show the shareable test manager link. Every test run generates a shareable link containing video recording, step-by-step trace, and visuals for you. We also support playwright export and any language support that you export that you want. So if you ran an flow in natural language, it will you can put command of Kane CLI export command to generate that natural language flow into an uh, a language, be it be JavaScript or anything. So you are zero login. There is no vendor dependency on this. That also opens up the flow for two-way migration. You can run this code in any other tool or any infra. Uh, and if you want, you can run it on our platform hyper execute as well. So playwright export is also the feature. So bug discovery, obviously if a run fails, you find the bug. It automatically surfaces any kind of error and failure, explicitly tested for catching hidden issues. um, Flows are persistent, like just Harish showed. It can maintain across multiple test runs, login once, and the change sequentially steps without repetition in the Kane CLI UI mode, which just Harish showed. So, and it's also CI/CD native. So, if you want to add it in your CI/CD flow, you can do it on GitHub Actions Bitbucket, GitLab, and Jenkins. So it will run the flow on your CI pipelines as well um, to tell you if it actually works or it should be merged or not. You can do synthetic monitoring by integrating into your CI/CD as well. So this was it. So now we can open floor for Q&A. If you have any question, let me see. Go to the Q&A panel. Um, yes. So we have a few questions. So the first question is, how do I handle test data and credentials? So I just told you that the flows can be parameterized. You can make a verification, a JSON file, a variable JSON file where you can put all your test data and credentials, and it will mask all the credentials for you and can run it through it. Won't AI test be flakier than scripted? I think Hari should be better to answer that.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I'll answer that. So yeah, like AI tests will be flake. Scripted ones are the like they are the best. Like scripted ones give you the best control over writing test case. Like there is no question about it. But like scripted test cases are very complex. So AI gives you something that you can write complex test cases in natural language, which scripted won't. But scripted will give you control over small elements, which AI won't. So it's not like you have to use only one thing in your test environment. You should actually use both things. Like if you are more into scripted ones, then you can ask AI to write like Kane CLI you can use for browser related actions and scenarios, and scripted ones if you want more control and the test case are not getting much, because the more complex the test case will get, the more hard it is to maintain it in the future. And if any element changes, then you will be it's very difficult to find out like what like for example, if one X path changed in your company decides to change one X path on a website, then it's very difficult to find what scenarios you are going and what scenarios were taking that X path in your this scripted test cases. So this is the thing that you have, this is kind of a trade-off that you have to work with. So and the second thing is AI test written by Kane CLI will not be flakier if you use a good prompts in it. If you use, like I showed you a very simple example, and obviously in companies you will be using much complex scenarios, but you have to take care of using very specific, very detailed, and very like accurate prompts, because then I think the chances of getting flakiness will reduce a lot. But then you can obviously verify it using the browsers that we show. Like it will open a browser, you can test whether whatever prompt you wrote is working correctly or not, and then it will work from there. Yeah.
yes. So somebody have asked, is there any video where I can see how Kaizen works in AI chat interface? Sure. I'm dropping that video, that YouTube video, in the chat here. If you want to see how Kaizen get triggered in an AI chat interface, you can always point it to the agent MD skill that we have for Kane CLI. This is the full video. Please feel free to watch. And there is another question: what happens when the AI can't complete an objective? So, if the it depends on the objective, how complex that objective is. So Kane CLI best capability is this only, that it's resilient than any other browser automation that tool that is out there. So if you, even if you have a complex workflow, it will keep trying until max steps it can. But if it still fails, then there is always a room to readjust your prompt, your objective. Um, but if the AI is still failing, then there's definitely a bug, and that's how you know that why it's failing. So even that uh, um, objective trace you can get in the share link, like where it exactly failed. You can diagnosis with there as well, that what went wrong, either it was objective or there's actually something wrong um, in the test itself. Yeah. So this was it. um, Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. I hope you enjoyed the session. Please feel free to uh, give us feedback and learn. If you want to learn more about it, I have dropped links in the chat. Give it a try, um, and let us know. I hope this helps you. Thank you. Thank you, Arish.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone.